G'day guys, Skits here, and welcome to Would You Rather episode 5. Just firstly, the gameplay. This is a 32 or 33 for 3 TDM gameplay using the M4. It wasn't the best gameplay, but I thought it was pretty good. Nothing too ridiculous or anything like that. As you know, I'm not amazing at this game, and to be honest, I haven't been enjoying this game that much. But anyway, guys, you'll see that the first death, by the way, is just completely stupid. I don't know what I was doing there. But anyway, firstly, before this video starts, I wanted to mention that for the next week or so, I'm going to be pretty inactive. I'm actually getting braces on tomorrow, and I just presume I'm going to be in a lot of pain, so I probably won't be able to get many videos out for this next week, probably only 2 or so, but after that, I'm sure you guys will understand that, you know, I'll be able to upload as much as I possibly can. But anyway, guys, the first question is, would you rather have superpowers or have Christmas never end? It's a bit of a random two things to compare, but if I had to say, I think I'd rather have superpowers. I think Christmas is more of a tradition sort of thing, and I think it's good just having it once a year. You really get into the whole, you know, Christmas vibe and whatnot, so I think that'd be cool, whereas having superpowers, you know, that'd be sick if you could just do certain things every day, you know, that you wouldn't normally be able to do. By the way, guys, I am sorry that I haven't done a Would You Rather in a while. Just thought I'd mention that now. I just didn't know if it belonged to my channel, but I've decided that, you know, you guys usually give it great feedback, and hopefully you guys will enjoy this one. Also, if you guys can leave a Would You Rather, I'd appreciate that. Anyway, guys, let's get back into it. Next Would You Rather is, would you rather drink 1 kilo of tomato sauce or 1 kilo of mustard? So, a kilo, I'm not sure how much that is in terms of gallons or whatever the hell you American guys use. I'm really not sure, but obviously tomato sauce is just like ketchup. I would probably rather drink 1 kilo of tomato sauce or ketchup. 1 kilo of mustard would just sting, it would burn, it would taste awful, you'd probably spew. Whereas tomato sauce, it's a little bit less, you know, strong, and I think you'd be able to down it pretty much easier, let's just say, than a kilo of mustard. So next question is, would you rather have a third leg or a third arm? For me, this is a pretty easy one. I'd much rather have a third arm. I find that arms, or as long as it comes with another hand, I think hands and arms are very useful, or at least more useful than if you had 3 legs. 3 legs would be kind of useless. If anything, it would just make you look, you know, you'd be probably kind of be out of balance. And I just think having a third arm, I've always needed to have 3 arms to do certain things. So I think that'd be cool having 3 arms. Although, I mean, to be honest, it'd be a bit ridiculous. But anyway, would you rather eat 5 rotten cheese slices or lick a dirty toilet? That is really disgusting, but I gotta say, I'd probably rather just lick the dirty toilet. It wouldn't take long, and although it would be disgusting and you might get a sickness or something, at least eating 5 pieces of rotten cheese, that would take so long and it would just be disgusting. You'd be spewing, whereas if you licked a dirty toilet, I mean, sure, you know, it's disgusting, but it's just a quick lick and then you're out of it. So I think I'd rather lick a dirty toilet. Pretty disgusting question, though. Yeah, I do beg of you guys to leave Would You Rathers below, because I love answering them. Anyway, guys, next question is, would you rather have a permanent smile or non-stopping tears? I'm going to have to go with the permanent smile. I think it would look ridiculous either way, but, I mean, if you just had constant tears, no one would take you seriously. I mean, no one's going to take you seriously either way, but I think if you had non-stopping tears, you'd be ridiculous, and no one could tell how you're feeling. Whereas if you're constantly smiling, at least people might be able to somewhat relate to you. You know, you can still have a conversation without, you know, crying and whatnot. So, yeah, I'd probably rather just have a permanent smile. Next question is, would you rather know when you're going to die or know how you're going to die? I think I'd rather know how I'd die. If I knew when I was going to die, I think that would make my life a bit depressing for the year before I die. You know, I'd know that I'd be dying in a year, and I just think I'd rather know how I'm going to die, so that perhaps I could prepare for that easier than and tell people why or something like that. Whereas if you knew when you're going to die, imagine if you were dying at like 40. You know, that would just be horrible. So yeah, I'd probably rather know how I'm going to die. Next question is, would you rather be loved by Satan or hated by God? I don't know which one would be worse. I think if you were hated by God, I mean, I'm not a religious person, let me just get that out of the way. I don't really believe in God, but I think if you were hated by a God, I think that would just give you a horrible life, whereas if you were loved by Satan, you know, you're loved for doing the wrong things, but at least you're not going to be hated by God, if you guys know what I mean. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not much of a religious man, so I can't really answer that question very well. And the next question is, would you rather be buried alive or burned alive? Now, I really aren't sure. I've got to say burned. I think if you were buried alive, it would probably take a while, and it would be very sort of just, it would be horrible, whereas burned, although you would die, although it would be a very torturous death, I think you would die relatively quickly, or at least I think. So I think I'd probably rather burn to death, although that's a tough question. And then the next question is, would you rather have the sunshine forever or have it rain forever? And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys can relate with me here. I personally really aren't a huge fan of the rain. Right now we're in winter and I'm just kind of over it already. Whereas summer, I can never get enough summer. I really like summer. So yeah, I'd probably rather have the sunshine forever. Anyway, the next question is, would you rather not be able to walk or not be able to see? I would definitely rather not be able to see. If you couldn't walk, you couldn't just do normal things that normal people do. Whereas if you can't see, I'm sure you could have someone instruct you around, even though both would suck. Not being able to see, you can't just see the great things that we can normally see. And I think it would just be so horrible if you couldn't walk. And the next question is, would you rather have no one show up for your wedding or for your funeral? And I gotta go wedding. I wouldn't really mind as much if people didn't go to my wedding, but just knowing subconsciously that people wouldn't come to my funeral is a bit of a, it's just a bit of disrespect. Nearly, you wouldn't feel great about yourself. So I'd probably rather have no one show up to my wedding, because I don't think it's as important as death, even though death is such a depressing thing. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Leave your would you rather questions below, and yeah, I'll see you guys later.